Hi, this is Seth David from the world famous Nerd Enterprises Incorporated, bringing to you another special screencast. This one's on Nerds Empire Avenue, the MS Excel tracking template. Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more. Call me right now at 866-945-8070 for information about private trainings. We record the live session so you can review it as often as you like afterwards. Previously, on Nerds Empire Avenue, I showed you how I was using Evernote in order to keep track of various contacts that I've made on Empire Avenue. And now I want to show you how I'm actually going to transition information from the note that I created in that last video to my MS Excel tracking template, which is another way that another thing I should say that I'm using to keep track of people that I'm connected to on Empire Avenue, and for that matter elsewhere, because what's happening is as I connect with people on Empire Avenue, because they've done such a nice job of integrating access to the other social networks, I'm connecting with these people on all of the social networks, and I'm getting to know some of these people. I'm getting to know who they are, what they do, what they're into, and they're finding out the same information about me. And that works out great all the way around, because I get to meet new and interesting people, and who knows, at some point one of them may even refer me a client somewhere along the way, and then it really pays off in the most literal sense. But that's not the main point. The main point is to connect with people and build a community around the things that you're passionate about and the interests that you have. So let's look at another way that I'm doing that by keeping track of the people who sort of stand out to me the most. And what I've done is I've designed this MS Excel template, which I am using now to keep track of these people. So when you download the template, and I am going to make this available for download absolutely free of charge, you can click over here where it says click here to get started. And that takes you to this little home page where I have, of course, a little bit of branding. And then you can choose to go to the ROI calculator. And this is just a simple ROI calculator that I created in case you're looking at somebody's profile and you just want to quickly see what's their ROI. You punch in their dividend per share and their price per share, and it gives you the percentage. Very simple stuff. Then the real meat of this is to go into the list. And this is where I'm really starting to use this, as you can see, just starting to use this to keep track of people. So let's take a look at that note I had created last time around. I created a note based on Chris Voss's profile. So let's double click this to pop it out. I'll minimize this. And let's see how we populate this screen. The first thing I need to do, actually, which I hadn't done in the previous video, is there's a little bit more information I want to grab from his profile. So the coolest thing about this whole Evernote setup is I can click right here, and it'll bring me right to Chris's profile. And I can minimize this if it'll cooperate. And then I can bring my note back up here, and I just want this information right from the top of his profile here, his ticker and his actual name as it's listed here. So I highlight it, Control-C to copy it, and I'm going to insert a few lines here, and I'm going to right-click in here and choose Paste as Text, because I don't want any of that formatting to come in. I just want raw text here. And it comes in with that description profile picture. I'm going to pull that out. So now I've got his ticker and, of course, his actual name in here. And this is going to come in handy right now as we fill in the spreadsheet. So let's do that. Let me just take this up, bring this over, see a little bit more over here. Now, one thing, this is an Excel tip I'll give you, that makes it easy, especially if I'm filling in data like this, is over here you'll notice this little arrow. You can click on this and it will expand the sort of input section of a cell. For those who aren't familiar with Excel, every one of these little boxes that I can click on is called a cell. This gives me a window into that cell in terms of what information I'm going to put in. So the first thing I'm going to put in is the date. I'm recording this October 1st, 2011, because when you put the share price in, you're going to want to know that that was the share price as of whatever date you last updated this on. So the next thing is the name. So I did this because it makes it nice and easy. Now I can come over here, click in here, Control-V to paste. I'll hit my Tab key. Now I need his ticker. Control-C, come over here, click in there, Control-V. I need the URL for his profile. I've got that because I just clicked on it. Just come in here, click on Excel that's in the background, paste it in. Now let's get his dividend. That information is going to be here. So his dividend is $2.29 per share. And his price per share, I can still see it in the background, $2.62 with 86 cents. I own 200 shares. So this calculates the portfolio value. It lets me know what it's worth. And you can, of course, check that, make sure you entered things right. Obviously, it should agree to what Empire Avenue says it is. Now, they have some rounding, small differences in rounding for whatever reason. I guess the share price isn't really based on a complete whole number. So it comes out just slightly different, but as long as it's in the ballpark within $1, then you're fine. Now, the other thing I've included here is a tag list. A tag/list is what I called it. So you can create your own list. Now, you'll see here, let me expand this now that we're into this. You'll see here that I've got these arrows at the top. These are called filters. And what they'll enable you to do is you can click on one of them and drop it down to be selective about what information you want to look at while you're here in the spreadsheet. And this is especially helpful. Let's say I just wanted to look at a couple of these people. Let's say I want to look at Chris and Christoph here and Costa. I click OK, and here's their information only. Now, it's not really that relevant in terms of filtering by names. It's not likely, in other words, that you'd want to view things by selected names. But if I clear that out, maybe what I do want to do is look at the ROI, and maybe I want to set a range and say, show me, let's filter this, number filter, right? I can say greater than, let's say 1.00. And I click OK, and I came up with nothing because I'm looking at the percentage, and it is looking at that as a straight number. So 1% is 0.01. You have to know a little bit of math. Click OK. Now it shows me who's got a return on investment of greater than 1%. So when you do those filters, you have to keep in mind it has to be in terms of decimals, not percentages. And I could have gone back and edited this recording and fixed it so that it would look like I did it perfectly, but then you wouldn't learn how to fix that, and you very likely might make the same mistake yourself and wonder what's wrong with the template. Nothing's wrong with the template. You just have to know how to use it. Now, what I've done here is I can put a tag now. I can call these guys top earners, right? Because these are the people with the highest ROIs in my list. Now, if I'm putting a post, let's say, I want to put my top earners as a post on a blog or on Chris Voss's group, then it's very easy. I can copy and paste these. So now I can easily filter my data in order to use it, to share it, and do whatever it is I want with it. So here are my top earners right now. Based on the people I've listed so far, I've got Costa, Zanya, Rick Yeager, and Warren Whitlock. So while you're watching this video, go look for their profiles. In fact, what I'll do is I'll leave this information in the download. So when you go to download it, you'll have them in here. You can go, if you don't already own shares in them, go ahead and get them. So and now, if I clear these filters out, I can use this. I can use this tags to show myself just the top earners, just the people I've marked as top earners, because I don't have to make it necessarily dependent on what I had previously set as the ROI filter. I can now go in manually and say, you know what, I think even though this one's only 0.91% return on investment, I think they're a top earner. Now watch what you can do. If I hold down my Alt key and press my down arrow, it will give me a list of the data that's been entered in other cells in the same column. So that way I can easily and quickly pick. And as you create other tags, you'll be able to do that. Now bear in mind, you want to be consistent. You don't want to put multiple tags on this for one person, because then you can only filter by that combination of tags. What you can do, if you want to have multiple tags, is you can add columns to this. And that's what I want to show you. If you want to add columns, all you have to do is highlight this one, let's say, and you can right-click it, choose Copy, right-click it again, insert copied cells. And that way you've got multiple tags, and now you can put things in two different columns if you want to put multiple tags on a person. Bearing in mind that in order for the filters to really work effectively, you have to know that one of these columns is consistently always going to be used for a particular tag. So that's something important to keep in mind. The other thing, I've given you up to 100 rows in here to work with. I want to caution you, if you're going to add lines, you can do it, but you don't want to add below this line, because these filter hours are dependent on this specific range being covered. So if you want to add lines and make sure that they're going to be included, what you want to do is come into any blank region here that doesn't have any data in it, and you can click one of the row designations, like I'm starting here with row 12, and I can click and drag down to highlight a whole range of rows. And then all you have to do is right-click anywhere in that space, choose Copy, right-click again, and choose Insert Copied Cells. this will insert within the range so that you're covered, so that the formulas will copy down, and you'll also be covered for the filters if you should want to put something as far down as this. So that is pretty much the short version, as short as I can make it, on how I'm using my MS Excel tracker, which I've designed for you, how I'm using it, and how you can use it. So look for the download link wherever you see this video posted. I'll make sure the link is posted right there in the YouTube video description in my blog. Wherever you see this, you'll see the link to download my Empire Avenue MS Excel tracking template. As always, if you have any questions, email me, Seth@nerdenterprises.com. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you on the web. This has been a special presentation from Nerd Enterprises Incorporated on Nerd's Empire Avenue, the MS Excel tracking template. Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more. Call me right now at 866-945-8070 for information about private trainings. We record the live session so you can review it as often as you like afterwards.